Well, integrative learning is pulling together all the experiences that a student has at a university, the academic experience, the co-curricular, undergraduate research, study abroad, any of a myriad of opportunities that are available to students. And so when you knit those together, or help the student knit them together and reflect on what they mean for their life to date and what they're thinking about doing after they graduate, pulling all that together, or more accurately, helping the student pull those things together is what I consider to be integrative learning.
But as I think about it, it's a way for us to think about putting together the whole of a student's education while they're here at Eastern. And it provides a means for them to think about that and put it all together and make the connections across all those experiences so that they can become the whole adult human that they want to become.
Well, to me, integrative learning means something along the lines of taking all the stuff you learned in college and like stuff that you didn't know whether it would apply or whatever. You know, sometimes you'll sit in trigonometry and you'll think, how is this going to apply in the real world? When am I ever going to use this? But when you get into integrative learning, working on undergraduate research and all that, you start using this to solve problems, and so it comes together and really brings everything into reality for how it's going to be important in the future. You know, it emphasizes the point that just because you haven't used it before doesn't mean you won't use it when you go out into the real world, because there will be situations that come up that you won't necessarily know how to solve right away, and you'll have to use your thinking and all the processes that you learned in college.
I took weather and climate with Cameron Craig, and then he asked me to participate in a documentary, and I said, of course, yes, because anything else that you can do, I feel like would be better. So immediately we started shooting, and he let me edit, record music, and help him write it, and really get the whole broad aspect of doing pretty much everything there. So it was originally just a weather and climate class, and then with helping writing, incorporated some philosophy, editing, and music, helped with some art and some shooting and production aspects. And that is what integrative learning is taking all these different fields or areas and putting it all together and being able to be hands-on, especially, and getting more experience.
For me, that integrative experience would be studying abroad. I have been able to use all of my knowledge from the classroom, and I participated in 2 study abroad programs, teaching for Toronto for Teachers in Toronto, Canada, and Science and Schooling in Andros Island, Bahamas. And in both of those programs, we actually get to work with the kids in local elementary schools in both places. And it's in those places that you get to learn more about the kids and how education is viewed in different countries, and how different economic factors and culture and diversity plays a part.
So for my undergraduate research project, I was investigating the ability of 3 edible mushroom species to degrade office paper waste. So what I was trying to do was convert this waste material into something valuable and nutritious, and also spent compost that could be used to grow more food. So during this process, I was applying mycology, but also engineering and organic cultivation. So I was integrating multiple fields to investigate a research question.
Integrative learning has 2 primary components: connecting and reflecting. And when we have all of the departments actively engaged in integrative learning, then we're going to be making those connections among all of the departments on campus. And so when a student goes to any class, they're going to be able to see connections between that class and their life, but also between that class and all the other classes they're taking or the ones they took the semester before. The other thing that is going to really, I think, let this program thrive is when every class asks students to reflect, either in writing or by speaking, on what they've been doing and what they're thinking. As we think more about not just what we learn, but how we learn, our students become better learners, and they're going to go a lot farther.
If you come here to Eastern and you've got integrative learning, you're going to gain all this experience, and you're going to really connect to the material. You're going to be able to see how it works, see where it can apply, see what it does, You know, you can take the formulas and the mathematics and the equations and all that, and you can just, instead of having them rumble around in your head, you can really organize them and say, oh, that's what this can be used for. This can be used for that. Oh, I can solve this problem using this equation combined with some of my just general know-how. But in the end, there's inevitably going to be that one class, at least, where you're just like, only 5 more minutes? You know, you're just going to sit there and watch the clock, watch your watch. You're not, because you're not interested. A demonstration is a more practical way to get to provide an example than a picture in a book.
When students engage in a challenging experience outside of the classroom, and when they take those kind of risks, like when they do travel and service and research, they come out a little bit different on the other end. I think students develop a deeper understanding of themselves and what they're interested in, and also how they want to pursue that and how they want to make that happen. Students develop real skills and an actual experience, and so they are able to bring with them a story that illustrates how they can work hard to accomplish something, and they can talk about those skills they developed with an employer. And that helps themselves and also their employers realize their true potential.
What integrative learning at Eastern does is it gives students a leg up. Whether they plan to go to graduate school, whether they plan to pursue a career, they can show an employer that not only can they go to class and get good grades, but they know how to apply that learning in different settings. They know how to do something outside of class that shows not only that they've learned a subject, but they know what it means, and they know what it means in the world. So I think for prospective students, it's particularly important when they start thinking about what happens after college. Integrative learning is really going to set them apart and give them a really strong foundation for both their future as a citizen in the United States and also for their careers.
So it really helps prepare you. Like it's a good, even if it's not a full step up, it's a half step towards moving into the real world and being ready to go out there and do things.
My hope is that as the conversations and the engagement of all our faculty deepen across the institution, that all students will start to have those kinds of rich learning experiences. They will have the aha moment that often doesn't happen until they're 25 or 30, where they understand sort of what they are getting from their education holistically, not as individual content items. And so that's what I would look for as integrative learning becomes a deeper, more fundamental part of our culture here.
You will have an opportunity here to have your life changed by an individual here. And we all believe, every one of us, that opportunity is what makes it most exciting for us to be at Eastern as a faculty member or a staff member. That opportunity. So students who are interested in that kind of experience as an undergraduate or a graduate student, Eastern is a place for them.